Hi, I'm Cynthia, and this is my real kitchen, but this is a make-believe kitchen island because I don't have a kitchen island. And if I tried to do this in my real kitchen, which is what this is, my back would be to you the entire time because it would be. Anyhow, today what I'm going to show you is smoking a turkey breast. Now, I did a video before about smoking a turkey thigh, and the smoking part is the same, but what I didn't show you is how I prepare the meat before I put it on the grill. And the first thing I do is buy the best turkey you can find. You want a natural turkey. If you can find a heritage breed, get that. Don't get anything that has anything injected into it, any flavoring injected into it. Try and stay away from supermarket turkey. It really makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. I didn't think it did, but it does. And yeah, this is Whole Foods because that's local to me. And it's a half bone-in turkey breast. This is just under 3 pounds, which is for me a kind of a nice size. Now, what I do, which you don't have to do, but I like to do this, is I will bone it out for 2 reasons. One, it's easier to truss and to deal with. It cooks more evenly if you bone it and then truss it. It fits in my brining container better. And then my dog has some raw turkey bones to eat. So I'm not going to show you the whole process of boning because it's kind of lengthy, and I'm sure you can find that somewhere else. So I'm going to stop here, and the next time you'll see me, I'll have a boned out turkey breast. Great. Okay, I'm back. Now here's the turkey breast. I've boned it all out. This is kind of the bones and just some extra pieces and some kind of yucky, oh, it's got veins. It's kind of yucky stuff. Anyhow, I say I give it to the dog, which he will get some of this, but also these are great to throw in the freezer, and then when you've done a couple of them, use them to make stock. It's an easy way to make a really good turkey stock. So let's see. Zane, come here. Come here. Up. Good boy. Want some more? Okay, that's it. The other thing you'll notice is I've left the skin on. Now this seems to have like a ton of skin, so I'm going to trim some of that off. I don't need all of this. But I like to have the skin because when I'm grilling it, it's a very dry process. So you want to have, it's a little bit of a protector. It also gives it a lot of moisture. And there's some other fatty stuff I can trim off. And anyhow, I like to keep the skin on. So this is what I'm going to brine it in. Now what brining does is it imparts a little bit of flavor. I'll be using kosher salt and molasses. But the other thing it does is it seems to retain moisture within the breast itself. And breast meat generally is fairly dry. It's lean, so you want to retain as much moisture as you can while it's sitting out on a grill, hot, dry grill, for the hour and a half it's going to take for it to smoke through. So the way I make a brine, this is a quart container, is I use a quarter, what do I use, a quarter, yeah. A quarter cup kosher salt, and see how strong I am, and a quarter cup molasses. This is just, plain old supermarket molasses, nothing special. The molasses I like because it seems to give it kind of it's not sweet, but it's a depth of flavor that I think you don't get if all you do is brine with salt. You could also use brown sugar, but all brown sugar is regular sugar with molasses in it, so I just go to the source. Okay, now what I do is, this has just been boiled, this is very hot water. I pour in about a cup, just enough so I can dissolve the salt and the molasses. That's a little more than a cup, but it doesn't make that much difference. It's enough to make sure it's pretty well dissolved. It may not completely dissolve, but it'll mostly dissolve. Electric kettle, if you don't have one, get one. They're the best things under the sun. Boils water so fast for cooking, for coffee, for tea, for whatever. Then you fill it up to a quart. So it's a 1/4 cup salt, a 1/4 cup molasses, and a quart of water. And then, I love these enameled kitchen things. So then I put my breast in there, and I pour this on fairly carefully. I try to fill it as high as I can, even though it means sometimes I kind of spill some. And then I just kind of move it just to make sure that it's getting everything. And you see I have it skin side up because I don't care that much if the skin gets out of the brine a little bit. What I want is the brine to get into the meat. Now I'm feeling it, it's not hot at all. It's, I don't know, it's maybe 90 degrees. It's warm, it's lukewarm. It's warm room temperature. And this is going to go into the refrigerator so it'll cool right down. So don't worry about putting warm stuff on raw meat. It's going to be cooled off immediately. So that's a brine. Then I'll put this, sit this in the fridge, and 12 to 24 hours, loosey-goosey. You can do it for less than that. If you do it too much more than that, I think it gets a little bit too salty. But I'm going to do it probably somewhere around, what time is it now? Probably about 12 hours, because I'll be barbecuing this tomorrow. So that is how I prepare the brine. Next, I'm going to show you, once it's been brined up, that'll be tomorrow, I'm going to show you how I truss it up, how I tie it up with string. So that's it for today. Right, Zane? Yeah. I'm back. All right. Today what we're going to do is truss the turkey, which means basically just tie it up. Now, a couple things before I start. First, you may wonder why I don't use a turkey breast that's already been deboned, because you can buy those. And the reason I don't do that is, well, a couple of reasons. One reason is that I'm never quite sure how they boned it. If you saw the breasts that I have, I've noticed that they're kind of hacked in half. So I'm not quite sure exactly what piece is what when I get a boned breast. The second reason is that I like to do the boning. The third reason is that I get that extra piece of bone. And as I said, I can use it either to make stock or to give to the dog as a treat, or, you know, any number of things. And also that I know exactly kind of where the pieces of muscle and meat are. So let's get started. Here's my brine breast. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to rinse it off under running water, just to get all the brine off of it. So, pour it out. So just rinsed a little bit, and then I grab some handy paper towels. Dry it. Just makes it a little bit easier to work with if it's not sopping wet. Now, when I said I truss it so that it'll cook more evenly, the reason is, as you can see, this thing is kind of wedge shaped in that it's thinner down at this end, which is where the ribs are, and fatter at this end, because on the bird, okay, if this is the bird's head, this is the bird's back, the ribs go down here. Well, actually, no, it's sort of like this, but whatever. The part of the breast here is this fat stuff here, and then it kind of comes in along the ribs here. So it's a very uneven piece of meat, and especially when it's on the bone, when it's on the bone, somehow this seems even thinner. So by trussing it up, basically I'm going to kind of make a little package of it. It'll then cook much more evenly because it'll be pretty much the same thickness all around. So that's why I do it. It's also just a little bit easier to handle. So what you need is string. Now I came up with, I'm sure there, like anything else, there's a million ways to truss a bird or a piece of meat. I found this really great video online, on YouTube of course, that Jacques Pepin did, and he was doing a whole bone chicken that he then put like this lovely herby kind of stuffing in and then wrapped it up and then trussed it. And the trussing was when he did it was very simple, but it looked very simple. So what I'm going to do, so that's how I came up with the actual technique that I use. But it's, it's pretty much the same. So you take a length of string. I always get way more string than I think I need because there's nothing worse than running out. And this is just kitchen twine. You can get it at the hardware store, you can get it anywhere. So you just start at one end and you just tie it. Make a little knot. Okay, I'm going to get this started and then I'm going to show you, and I think I'll come in close and kind of show you exactly kind of what the technique is. So you've got this little trailing piece. You want to keep that over here, and then you've got the rest of it, and all you do is you make a loop just like that, and then the loop goes over underneath, you pull it up, and then you tighten it up. Et voila. Okay, in case you were wondering, I did wash my hands before I started, so let's tighten this up. So what we do is we have the hit here, go around the hand, make a loop, and so you want this on the underneath, this free end is underneath, and you bring the loop around, just like that, and then you tighten it up. You just kind of fart around with it until you get it kind of how you want it. So again, like this again, bring it around. So this is on the underneath. Then tighten it up. Now, I'll put a link to the Jacques Pepin video somewhere at the end of this so you can look at it. He just kind of goes, he does it really fast, but he's probably been doing it for like his life, and I think he's dead now, but probably died trussing a chicken. Anyhow, I'm not nearly as fast as he is, but I'm not a French chef, and I have not been doing this for my entire life, although it may seem like that. Okay, so now we've kind of gotten down to the end. What we do now is the fun part, which is we flip it over, and then we bring this piece here, and actually now I'm going to kind of cut it, because otherwise I'm going to be pulling up a lot of string. So now what we do is we come along, we kind of straighten it up a little bit here. It's like make it a little bit even. And then I find my little loop here, put my finger under it, bring this around, and pull it under. And then I go to the next one, and pull it under. Next one. Kind of getting the gist here, huh? Pull it under. Pull it under. And then pull it under. Now remember that little piece that we left at the beginning here? It has a purpose. So what we do now is we make this kind of, I mean, it's never going to be like perfect, but it does kind of keep it together. And tie this, tie it off, kind of like a Christmas present. It's kind of Christmas time now. We're almost at the solstice, so it's kind of, pagan, roasting meat over a fire. Anyhow, so here it is, our turkey breast. Oops, we got a little piece that's loose. Let's stick it under there. that is just nicely trussed and ready for the grill. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on my platter. I'm going to put it back into the refrigerator until maybe about half an hour before I cook it, so it'll come up to room temperature. And I'm going to leave it in the refrigerator uncovered so it'll dry off just a little bit. It kind of helps it helps in the roasting and keeping the surface kind of crispier rather than you want kind of a dry surface when you roast. Anyhow, that's it.